Okay, perfect. Siva, Suel, are you guys ready to start?
Be born ready.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Thank you guys so much for joining our first series of Shaping the Future of Tribe. My name is Mo, and I'm the co-founder of Tribe. I basically run the daily operations here, working with our sales team, CS team, and marketing team, trying to deliver an exceptional experience to our customers. We're super excited for starting this series of events to actually get a chance to talk to our customer community more closely and telling them about where we are moving toward at Tribe. So this is a series of the series of events called Shaping the Future of Tribe, which is basically a session with makers of Tribe. And here I have with myself Siavash and Sohel. They're both co-founders of Tribe. Siavash is the technical co-founder as well as the CEO, and Sohel is the genius guy behind the product. So what we're going to be doing is that we're going to hear from them on some of the updates on what has already been done at Tribe and where we're moving toward, and also some exciting updates on what you should be waiting for in the following month. I just wanted to before I pass the torch to them to talk about it, something that I wanted to recommend. I usually say that at these type of events is that if you haven't, please join our campfire community. I don't know if you guys are all part of it, but it's a great place to get updates on what's really coming down in the pipeline and get the chance to connect with the rest of our customers. So go to community.tribe.so. There we have a couple of channels that I always promote. I have the notification turned on in those channels for anything that comes from either our customers or our own team. So announcement is where we are putting a lot of updates about our company. Like if you just go there and you can always manage your notifications and turn them on. So whenever there is a new post about a company update at Tribe, you can get that. My next favorite space at Tribe is really what's new, which is mainly updates from our product team on like what is being shipped and what has been released. So you see a lot of updates coming from our product and marketing team on what's already been done. So make sure to turn on your notifications in those spaces so you can get the updates. We will be hearing from Sohel and Siavash on what has been cooking at Tribe's team. And at the end, we'll have space for Q&As. There's a Q&A box that you can just click on the Zoom and post your questions. At the end, we'll make sure to get all of those answered. So I'm gonna pass it to Siavash. So tell us what's been cooking, Siavash.
So first of all, welcome everyone. I'm very excited to share some of the things that you're working on. Before starting, I'm just going to quickly introduce myself. My name is Siavash. I'm the technical CEO. I started programming when I was 9 or 10 years old and built many communities over the past almost 15 years, since there were BBS and all those old stuff up until the forum softwares, and now building Tribe together with my two amazing co-founders and the amazing team that we have. So before starting, I think it will be great if Sohel can actually shape some of the visions that we have around the product, and then I'm going to actually give you a demo of some of the things that you're building, and you will be able to actually access some of these things by just submitting your name in the waiting list that we have for the beta program. But Sohel, please I think do a quick intro of yourself and then let us know why we're moving this direction, and then I'm going to show you everything.
Sure, perfect. Thank you very much. And thanks for everyone for joining. We are really, really excited doing this. It's been a while that we wanted to do this, but we've been always heads down working. And that at a time Mo came along and said, guys, we need to start sharing what we are doing, our progress with the community. And quite frankly, we are a community platform, so we have to build it together. We really want to listen to everyone and build together. We are going to have a lot of arguments, all of us together within the team. And I was like, let the customers vote as well. And that's what we are here to do. My name is Sohail. I'm one of the co-founders, and I am mostly working on the product. And I have a lot of passion about design, how people are actually using products, understanding human behaviors, and what makes us tick, to be honest, what makes us waking up every day, going to work, and why people have to come to these random places, sign up, come up with their own real name, and just start connecting together. And I think everyone would have been felt that as we are aging, we are actually no longer connecting with the old friends of us, but mostly trying to connect to like-minded people. So with no further ado, I would try to actually quickly give you guys what we are about. So what we are about is that we've been doing this, creating products and platforms and applications for quite some time, from the day that I can remember when I was like playing Dooms and Prince and all of these sort of stuff. But if you pay attention to most of all of the businesses, most of the companies, the only contact point that we have is mostly usually happening through a marketing website. It's a very one way of communicating with customers. It's a marketing, it's a brochure. And now more than ever, especially after the pandemic, we are seeing a lot of people are moving towards having a community, where we are looking at the community platform as more of a companion application toward marketing websites. And usually when we are thinking of community platforms, we are mostly thinking about this text-based message board, but if you pay attention to this new age that we're living in, community comes in a different shape and form. YouTube is a community. It's a community of people shaped around watching videos and watching the same stuff. Like if you look at the comment section of the YouTube, that's one of the most amazing community of all. Pay attention to Twitch. Twitch is a community of gamers, but you wouldn't think of Twitch as a community platform, but indeed it is. Instagram indeed is a community platform shaped around sharing media files. And Behance, Crunchbase, all of these products are actually community. But when we think of a community platform, we usually think of it as more of a text-based message board. I cannot share my screen. If I think the host has to give me the screen sharing abilities. This is usually Zoom feature stuff.
Sure.
What I wanted to do is like basically quickly, instead of you guys looking at my face, I wanted to actually go over these stuff that I'm talking about, like maybe making it a bit visual. Okay, perfect. So now I have this. So this is something that I actually created long time ago. That if you look at most of the stuff, we are thinking of community platform as these sort of stuff, like social networks, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. We consider them as a social network: Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, media sharing network, discussion forums, Reddit, Quora, LinkedIn, and so on. You can actually see that all of these stuff are pretty much a community platform. So we actually started asking ourselves, in order to be able to create different social applications, what are the stuff that we need to do? And we quickly found that if you actually look at all of these platforms, there is a lot of commonality between all of them, like especially in the technology stack. And quite frankly, like I think both Mo and Siavash, every time that we wanted to build a new sort of a application or a product, in one way or another, it was a social platform. Like we wanted to have a commenting system. We wanted to have a notification system. We wanted for people to be able to register and sign up and talk to each other. And we quickly found that if you start paying attention to most of other applications, like Product Hunt is an application that you would be able to upvote the new products being built by community. And you have this community discussions, you have this place that you can upvote something like Hacker News. And every time that we were building something, we wanted to build something like this. but we quickly found that these are hard problems to solve. Like if you want to create a simple feed, it's a hard problem to solve. If you want to build a notification system, it's a hard problem to solve. These are not easy problems that you can actually just tackle into. Like there is a whole company called Algolia built around search. And even if you want to actually utilize that, probably you have to actually need developers to be able to help you out of the box to implement that. I have all of these tabs open to just quickly give you this sense of look at Twitch as a community. They are not just text, but there is a people who posted it. There is an image. You can follow people. You can upvote stuff. You can like. You can comment. Strava, my favorite application, is the social networks for people who are doing sports. You would be able to follow your friends. Again, you would not necessarily type and post something. The information is actually being fetched from your wearable devices or anything else. The post is getting generated, and now you have a social feed about all of the people that are running. TechCrunch, if you pay attention to it, now it looks much more the same as a social network. They are not necessarily a social network as Facebook, but one of the things that we take pride in terms of like understanding something about building Tribe is that people actually started learning a lot from the social networks, like this infinite scrolling. It's easy to understand. Anyone can do it. There is no order of information. You do not have to look left, right to find where to look for information. You can actually go through the feed. It's easy to consume. If you look at Crunchbase, it's basically social networks, but for the companies. Like instead of following your friends, you can actually follow companies. You can click on them. There is a profile. You can actually go through all of these tabs, and you can actually see much more information. Kit.co is another favorite product of mine. So basically you get the idea. Even a Pinterest is a community. So let's just start with that we think that you should be able to build all of these applications in one way or another, because you are going to, for your company, you are going to need all of them. Like probably if you're creating a company, you need all of the features that product has. The product hunt had. Like you might want to actually have a section that you might want to upvote, a Q&A place, a feature request place, and all of these spaces requires a slightly different layout. Like if it's an upvote application, you need a layout like this. If it's a file preview gallery, you need something like Instagram. If it's an ideation space, you need something like Hacker News. So for every single Slack channel that you have, you require a slightly different layout. And we think that if we find what is being shared and overlap with most of these applications, both in terms of technology and both in terms of what people are actually getting used to by using all of these products that they're always using. People are actually comfortable with using Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Slack. Now, how can we leverage those and making it accessible to everyone? So those technologies that these big companies are actually working on, can we democratize that? Like so that whenever you want to build something, you don't have to build a whole company just around building your notification, building your social graph and all this stuff. Having said that, I wanted to actually pass it on to Siavash to tell you a bit how we are looking at it and how we are trying to solve this problem.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Sohail, for sharing like the context here. So it will be great if you could actually pass the host to me so I can share my screen as well. But while we're doing that, so if you looked at all of those different communities that we just watched, like YouTube, Twitch, Pinterest, and all of those, one thing that we see is that if you want to build a product that you can build any of those sort of things, it should be insanely customizable. And how can you make like a product as customizable as that? So we actually went to the whiteboard and like talked a lot. We actually brainstormed a lot on figuring out like, how can we do that? And the reason is that every single community is unique and every single community wants to achieve something different. So we cannot just build something that is a one size fits all and it will be helpful for every single person or every single community. Instead, the approach that we're taking is that let's build a platform And by that, I mean, like, what is common between all those social networks that we shared? They all have a feed. They all have notifications. They all have like member management and content management. We have analytics. We have moderation and all those things. So how can we solve all these hard technical problems first, and then make sure that every single little thing other than those is an app built on top of the platform? And that's exactly like the way we built the new version of Tribe. Now, initially, the version that is currently out is not as customizable as we want. And we've spent actually the past 3 months just focusing on how can we make it very customizable, very extensible through apps, and also embeddable into your product. Let me actually share my screen just to showcase one more community here. So if you look at like Figma community, Figma is a tool for designers to just build like all the pages. We use actually Figma very heavily. But if you go to the community section of Figma, as you can see, like this community is not a standalone community. It's actually right inside the Figma app itself. And that's the beauty of it. So we have Figma here, you click on community, right inside the Figma, you have this. And the items that are here in Figma in the community are not just text again. There are actually Figma files that you can actually go into and use them, and they're shared by other people. So one more thing that we believe is very essential to building community is like, how can we make it very embeddable into other products? Now, with all of these, we built some new features on top of Tribe 2.0, and we actually did an internal hackathon to figure out like what our own Tribarians can build with some of these new tools that we have provided. So I'm not going to start with the product itself. I'm going to actually showcase some of like the communities that were built by our own employees through that hackathon. They spent like 2 hours to build all these things. Now, let's go through some of these. So the first one is actually, it's a community called Crave. So when you look at this, first of all, you figure out like the layout of this community is very different from the layout of the current version of Tribe, the current UI that we have. And the main reason behind it is that we figured like we need to actually provide the ability to our customers to actually pick different layouts if they want, or pick different components here. So one of the main differences between this new feature, which we call it like Customizer right now, or Tribe Studio internally, is that we see every single thing as a block. So when you're looking at this page, this is a block for rewarded chefs. This is a block that is announcement. This is a menu block. This is a collection block. And it will actually showcase itself, because if I go to the next community here, as you can see, like it has like different blocks actually here in this page. And this is actually a Minecraft community, and our amazing Tribarians actually had a business model for it as well, which is pretty interesting. Let's go to another one. This is our internal tribe that we use internally for our daily stand-ups for engineers. As you can see, like it looks and works like differently. One of my favorites is actually this crypto community that is out there. As you can see, first of all, like people are called like traders here. You can go and look at the traders. You can go to the homepage. In the homepage, it actually showcases the most important things, maybe like the price of a Dogecoin here and some converter here. And I have like another page that was built by one of our members. And in here, you can see like the price of all different coins and how this looks like. And then we have like, I go to Ethereum, which is actually a space with the definition that we have right now. But when I go to Ethereum, you see like there is a block here which showcases the price of Ethereum itself. So
thanks, Scott. Ethereum prices are backing up.
Yeah, that's good. So it was not good days the past few days, like for crypto people, basically everything was going down. But I'm happy that things are back up actually. But the idea, I first wanted to start with showing you like what are the different ways or different types of communities that you can build. And this is just the start. Like we are just starting with one type of layout as we speak. And we will be able to release like, I don't know, a full width layout in the future and all those things. But the main difference when you look at it is that instead of having a fixed thing and then thinking about how we can customize different pieces one by one, we're thinking of basically a slate, an empty canvas, and how you will be able to add these different blocks in that canvas, and they should work out of the box. So if you think about it this way, technically, we are building a no-code social product builder. And imagine having the ability to embed what you're seeing very easily into your own product, or just like create an extra page, like for instance, like create the blog page that we have here as an example, where we have like our own tribes community blog, or this page that I've built, and being able to create this page and embed it into a product that you already have, or your website that was built with Wix or Webflow or other things. So how can we make that really simple? Now, with that being said, I want to showcase like where we are at with the current, what is the current stage that we are at with building this Tribe Studio or the customizer that you're talking about. Now, let me imagine like I'm looking at this page and it's actually the future chat. It's talking about the future of in general, like world, like with Tesla and Bitcoin and all those things. And I want to actually edit some of these stuff that are here. So we are adding a new option called like the customizer for the time being. And when I click on the customizer, it starts with like a few options that I have. The first one is like actually the theming, and we call it like color templates here. So I can simply click on any of these templates, and these are basically like different themes that are available to me, and I can actually just pick any of these. And the beauty of it is that it also have like the dark mode of it as well. We will actually follow up on the like dark mode part like pretty soon. I see actually every now and then people ask about dark mode in general. But as you can see, I can simply like pick the theme out of these things. Now, one more thing that we have learned over the past few years actually is that it's really hard to start things from scratch, especially when it comes to community. And there are like different ways that we can help with that. And one of the ways is actually providing templates. And in here, you can see like one of the examples of how templates can work. These are like just color templates, but we can extend this to everything. We can have like a template for a community that from the beginning looks like this, and another template for a community that from the beginning looks like this. So depending on use case, we can actually provide templates that a community builder can just come, look at like a few templates, figure out like what's the closest to what they want to do, and just start from that. Very similar to Shopify if you look into it. Now, moving back, so as you can see, we have these like color templates here that you can use. You can actually customize, so you can start with this color template and say, hey, it's a Tesla community. I want it to be like, I don't know, a little bit like red. So I made it to be that red. And you can also pick the typography. So that was another learning that we had. Again, how can we just provide some presets for typography instead of like giving you the option to like, hey, find like the font, embed it, like, I don't know, add a script for it to support. So you can click easily on each of these and see like different typographies that we have. And it's not just the fonts. So if you look at it like if I pick like one of these, the font of the heading is picked for you. The font of like the paragraph is picked for you, and even the spacing and all those things. So it's actually a template for all the best practices of typography that are out there. So you can simply do all those things. Now, Imagine I want to now, after this, like edit like some of these blocks. Let me actually go back so I can reset the template and palettes and all those things. So I can easily go to any of these. Let's go here, go to the customizer, for instance, on this other like community. I can easily like click on any of these blocks. Again, everything that you see is a block, right? I can click on, for instance, the header block and say, I want to actually add a navigation item here, and it's called like, I don't know, homepage. And the action here is to open a link, and I want it to go to my own homepage. So I can just do tribe.so, and I have homepage here. But maybe I want another style for this. I want it to be stacked. So I can actually pick for this block to have the stacked like style to it. So for each of these, I can do the same as well. I can actually click here on this block, which is my menu. And I want to say, I want spaces to be here. I want the profile to be here. And I want spaces to be at the top because that's more important. And I was able to easily like do it with a few clicks. The same thing for this like collection menu that I have here. Maybe actually I don't want the engineering collection to be on the left, or I want the engineering collection to be at the top. So I can easily like do all these changes. And this is just the beginning. We're actually showcasing how in general these blocks work. And as we move forward, basically we will just introduce new blocks every single day. So you can actually utilize all these things in a very simple way. And I can also go to my content area, for instance, and I don't know, here is like the announcement. I can say it's not hidden anymore, and then add like anything I want for this announcement block, or just embed an iframe right here at the top of my page and set the heights to whatever I want. So the idea is like, I just want to showcase like the possibilities that this can give us. And what I'm showing you is just a beginning, in a sense that these blocks are the ones that we built it at Tribe. But the idea is that we will provide a way for developers, local developers actually, to build new blocks on top of Tribe. And imagine like how powerful that can be. So imagine like going to a post, and on the right side of the post, there's like this Zendesk widget or block. And then you can see like the connected tickets of Zendesk to your post right from there. Imagine going to, I don't know, a user profile, and on the right side, there is like a block for starting a Zoom meeting really quickly, or looking at like their information on your HubSpot right inside the community. And that's exactly like what we are aiming for. We are aiming for building something that is very customizable, and then empowering low-code developers to build new features so it can unlock more no-code use cases. And that's what we're aiming for, actually. So moving forward, like there are a lot of other new features that we have introduced, and I want to actually showcase a few of them, then jump back to Sohail so we can actually discuss some of these things that I just showed you and what are the possibilities. But before jumping in there, with release of like this customizer and some of these there will be like some new features as well. I'm going to quickly showcase some of those. Well, there's an easier way to share things. As you can see inside the feed, as I'm scrolling, I can see like the latest messages right inside the feed, and I can interact or even reply right from here without like leaving the feed. We are introducing a new way to follow things. And also we figured when we looked at analytics that most of our members are not using all the different emojis that are out there. They're just using like 5 or 6 of them. So how can we make it really easy for you to just pick a few emojis and then utilize just those types of emojis, and being able to easily like see like who did what on these things. And last thing that I wanted to cover before going to the admin settings and all the new stuff, other new stuff that are there, was just because we already covered like the theming, to showcase like the dark mode here as well. So you have like different options. You can just pick any user, any member can actually pick their own dark mode if they want, or they can just sync it with their OS device. It works fine on like both iOS, Android, and also on the desktop mode. So dark mode is coming up pretty soon as well. And also there are like some other like small things that you will see this new release. One is like, for instance, the desktop notification and all those things will be released as part of this as well. But before moving forward and getting to like the admin parts of the new product, not the new product, but some of these like new features, I'm going to hand it back to Sohail so we can actually discuss some of these things together.
Thank you, Siavash. So you guys just seen an internal tool that we are using to be able to build all of these templates, to all of these teamings, to all of these designs, and we wanted to actually get the best out of everything. So we wanted you to be able to build beautiful teams without knowing how to design. And what you have seen might not be the best looking product ever, but rest assured, this is an internal tool that we are going to provide to everyone so that we can actually build our own tools. Because maybe the style that we are going to use is not going to be the style that everyone is going to use. So we are providing it in both ways. One way is that you are going to be able to choose the presets that we have provided for the teaming, or if you have designers in your team, you are still able to go in an atomic level, and rather than trying to override a lot of CSS and just load everything up, you would be able to actually use those customizer to actually match it with your own application and your design system. So we are learning how design systems are working. We are trying to implement it in one tool. Quite frankly, this is the tool that we've been wanting it since we were a child. You know, like it's not that, like the idea of what we are doing is not novel, to be honest. I think no one has done it the way that we are expecting it to do. Like we want us to be able to design our own team like the way that we do design systems. We want to create blocks like the way that we do it with Webflow. So we are leveraging everything from where we think are doing it best and putting it into one package that everyone can use it out of the box. We have a good idea to do it through community platform. Website builders are hard to use because they are coming in a lot of different sizes and shapes, but because we have a reason, and that reason is to build a community, then we think that we are in a very good place so that we can actually introduce the best members management. We can introduce the best notification system. We can introduce the best whatever that we can leverage from other tools that have been done doing it. And we are just trying to take the best practices, and most importantly, it's going to be a very familiar experience. That's what is really important to us, that every time that we are actually building something is that can someone who is going to see it for the first time using it, rather like we do not want to create another tool that is going to require you to have a learning curve that you have to study and learn. So everything is going to be point and click. Everything is going to be something that we are leveraging from other tools and learning that they've done it in the right way. And from now on, we just think that it's the right time to start sharing it with you guys, even though that is almost at the beginning stage of shaping how we think the future of Tribe is going to be. But we love to hear what you guys think. We love to hear your feedback right now rather than launching soon. We want to build together, basically. So we are all ears. Some of the stuff that Siava showed you, like for example, like replying right in the feed, being able to react, they are the feedbacks that comes directly from the customers. So we would love to hear what everyone thinks. So Mo and Siavash, do you guys think that we should go over the questions right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I personally am super excited with the level of customizability that is being introduced with these new updates. I saw a lot of love from Katie, Emma, Henrik, Dom, and the guys. It's great to hear your feedback on this. And we want this feedback to keep coming. We're going to dive into the Q&A part, but we'll also talk about a beta program that we're rolling out at the end of the call. So we're more than happy if you guys are interested, sign up for that beta program. We want to share the access with you so you can get your hands on this product early on and just, give us your feedback so we can improve it before it's publicly available for the rest of the customers. So with the questions, we can start from the top. There is one of the questions is, when is the private messaging expected to release? Because that wasn't part of the demo that you presented today.
Yeah, great question. First of all, I want to mention that private messaging is part of the core functionalities of any community platform. So the same way that we see like feed, notifications, private messaging is exactly that. Now, the way that we are handling private messaging is basically we are building a real-time tool that will make every single part of the product real-time. And if you look at like private messaging is technically just a feed with like maybe like 2 subscribers for like one-to-one private messaging and 3 subscribers or more like for group messaging. So the way we wanted to handle it is like, how can we make something that we can reuse in many different parts of the product, in the feed, in the notifications, and also for the private one-to-one and group messaging. And also, how can we make it in a way that developers can utilize it to add things to it? So send a message from an app or send a message on behalf of a user and all those things. And as we were speaking, we're working on what I just mentioned. So it's something that is an ongoing work. And the reason that we're taking our time to release it is because we want to make sure that it is reusable in many different parts of the product. Most likely, I don't want to just give you like time frames and things of that sort, but most likely this will be out somewhere like in January or February. That's like the timeline that we are looking at. Again, we are an agile team, things change, like we will need to reprioritize things, but based on what we have on our internal roadmap, that's the timeline that I'm looking at.
Perfect, thank you. And just like for everyone to know, we will be publishing our public roadmap later today in our Campfire community. So make sure you have your notifications turned on for announcements and what's new. We'll be posting it there and we'd love to hear your thoughts. We are explaining and we are publishing the features that we expect to be released in the next 90 days. And we're going to keep updating that on a monthly basis. So we have it as transparent as possible with our customers. Going to the next questions, are you planning on allowing us to integrate Tribe into our own private mobile app? So like provide us React components, etc., to help developers?
That's an amazing question. So in general, like with Tribe 2.0, technically we have built like some tools internally that we are going to release to everyone, or maybe even open source them. The first one is like the Tribe client. In general, like how do you interact with our API? So as you may know, in Tribe 2.0, we are using GraphQL as the main communication method with our API. And we're going to actually release a very simple Node.js SDK where you can actually interact with everything that we do on Tribe without even any knowledge of GraphQL or like knowing our API structure. So that's the first thing that most likely will be released. And then the next thing is like providing a React SDK, which we are actually using. So what you just saw here was using React SDK. Now, this may take a little bit of time because when you release something like this in the open world, then it's really hard to change it. And we want to just make sure that our product and the SDK is mature enough before releasing it to everyone. That does not although include like the React Native components, but the beauty of it is that if we just rebuild the views, we can actually handle React Native pretty simply as well. So most likely you will get access to a React Native component. But in the meantime, you can always embed Tribe as a web view in your product. If you go to like, when we release like this new UI or these like the customizer with all these new bells and whistles, you will see that it's way, way faster as well. So we doubled our Google page speed on both mobile and desktop. So it will actually give a way better feeling of being embedded natively rather than just a web view when you utilize it.
Fantastic. And I think like both you and Sohail touched on this, that being able to embed Tribe and having community as a native part of the product experience is super important. And that's what Tribe is trying to deliver. We don't have it today, but I think the short answer is that yes, we will have SDKs that enable our customers to even embed the Tribe community inside their product. Next question is on from a customer on our 1.0 version, where they are concerned of like, would these changes, especially the one that you explained, is that going to be introduced as a new version? Do they have to wait a lot for these type of features to be available? And I think it's good to kind of touch on the fact that, you know, the way we launched 2.0, although we got the opportunity to hear a lot from our customers and improve it, but we didn't do the best service to our 1.0 customers. But Siavash, tell us about the hard work your team is doing to get to the feature parity so we can bring our V1 customers.
Yeah, I knew this question would come. And I want to point out that there is not a single day that we're not actually thinking about like this, like we have 1.0 and 2.0. And the question also asked, how can we make sure that there won't be a Tribe 3.0 in a year, which is like another way of bringing this up. So I want to actually first talk about why we did build Tribe 2.0, why we did build a new version. So it all goes to the vision and what's the DNA of Tribe. So we want Tribe to be a platform that is customizable, extensible through apps, and is embeddable into other products. So these are like the three main things that we want Tribe to be. And we believe there is a promised market fit here. Like with anyone that I talk, when I showcase like what is the vision and what we want to build, they're all like cheering for us. But we don't have like that product market fit. And we didn't have that product market fit on V1. So on V1, we faked a lot of things. We faked being a platform. Our apps technically were not like apps that a third-party developer can build on top of Tribe. They're just maybe like feature flippers or feature flags that you can turn on and off. Okay, so we did lots of faking. And initially, when you use the product, you don't see the limitations. But when you use the product more than some months, as a developer and as builders on top of Tribe, you will hit the problems that we have as a platform. So we were not a true platform, basically. Now, we rebuilt it from ground up because being a platform is not like doing this and you will be a platform. There's a lot to consider about the permissioning, about the scalability, about the way that apps are built on top of Tribe. So currently on Tribe 2.0, we don't have many apps, but all the apps that we built it outside of Tribe's code base, meaning that similar to iOS, let me give you an example. So in iOS has a weather app, right? But a third-party developer can just easily come in and build a better weather app on top of iOS. And we want to be exactly like that as well. So we have like, I don't know, this amplitude integration that we've built on top of Tribe. A third-party developer should be able to build a way better amplitude app on top of Tribe if they want it. So the main part of the reason that we had to rebuild some of these stuff was exactly that. We faked a lot of stuff. Now we wanted to really build it. And right now, as a young company, right now we believe was the right time of handling it. Now, the question was like, how can we make sure that in a year we won't have like a third version of Tribe? And that's a very good concern and good question. Well, you're a product. Products will have different versions in general. So I cannot promise we won't have Tribe 3.0. Actually, you should be cheering for us to build actually a new product in the future. But definitely it won't be in the next few years. So we built like Tribe in a way that is super scalable and is super extensible, that, to be honest, right now, I cannot see a use case that we need to rebuild it again. So that won't happen. Another thing that might come up as a confusion is the fact that what I just showed you right now, that's not a new version of Tribe. That was just a new look and feel on top of what we had. So you can actually switch back and forth if you want, like between like that UI and the previous UI. So when you opt in for the beta, we can just convert your existing 2.0 community to what you just saw, and you will be able to use all the features that are out there for it.
Fantastic. So we have around 10 more minutes to go, and we have still like a lot of questions. I want to just group them. So there is a lot of questions around the embeddability, like being able to build their own apps that integrate with Webflow. There is a question about the custom APIs, to be brought into a React platform. Will it allow Okta SSO integration? What is our mobile strategy? Katie has that question. Also, she asked about like whether there would be a program for certain partners to get access to that SDK before it's publicly available.
Amazing question. So about embeddability, we had embeddability on V1 on the first version, but it was very limited. We will have embeddability in a way better way on the second product, meaning that actually you should be able to embed in many cases without having any coding knowledge. So we are looking at it as like building a new page and then embedding that page. And you can actually have like a few other pages and then embedding each of those differently in different products. So that will definitely come. And regarding the custom APIs, well, we already have our API documentation, GraphQL API documentation, so you can easily like access those. We're also giving you an SDK, and you can even today use our platform with any sort of like React UI that you have, and use us as a backend as a service rather than, or community as a service rather than the full package. The React SDK that I was talking about will let you add just a simple provider with your access token. Just add the access token and everything. You can just design whatever you want inside of it with the components that we provide to you. So you can actually customize it as much as you want. For testing out the API documentation, the APIs and the SDKs, we definitely can actually handle that. I think that should be part. So if you're interested, please actually sign up for the beta list, and then as part of that beta list, maybe with selected customers, we can actually test the SDK.
Okay, super. And then Jeff is asking a great question about like he likes the update. He's concerned about security, data protection, and GDPR. He's asking if there will be more GDPR compliant data protection, such as Google Takeout. What are the plans on the privacy ends of user management?
Yep. So in general, we are aware that we are not fully GDPR compliant with the new version. And I think that there are two remaining pieces. One is being able to delete your own account, which there is a workaround, like they can email the admin and admin can delete the member. There are lots of edge cases here. That's why we haven't released it. And the second part is members being able to take out their own data or content out of the product. So both of these things are things that we're working on. Also, integration with third-party tools like OneTrust is another thing that we are actually looking into as we speak, because we understand that different countries have different rules for these things, and we want to make sure that people are enabled to support their own country based on the rules, basically.
Super. I got a lot of questions about the roadmap and when certain features will be released. Just want to remind you guys that we'll be publishing our public roadmap today in Campfire, so make sure you have your notifications turned on there to get notified. So I have a question about, so Matthew has asked that he's interested in integrating Tribe with multi-vendor marketplace e-commerce sites, and if it's possible to have it through single sign-on. Is it something that already exists as a capability? Is it something that we have to wait? Because we've been talking about this partnership program that we're going to be working with developers that want to extend Tribe. So I know developers portal has been something on the roadmap. Do you want to touch on that a bit?
So just to make sure I understand the question good enough, is it about like implementing new types of single sign-on or acting as a single sign-on provider?
I think, and I don't know if Matthew, you want to elaborate on that, but it seems like it's more about the single sign-on capability that could connect the marketplace with Tribe. Because what type of single sign-ons do we have? What are the changes that we're expecting on that?
Got it. So first of all, like right now, we do support almost any type of OAuth 2 that supports OpenID, and also we support Okta, Auth 0, Outseta, Memberful, as well as WordPress out of the box. So actually in one of these hackathons, somebody just implemented Slack integration, Slack login without any extra coding. So you can actually, anything that supports OpenID, we support it. So that's one way of doing OAuth 2, meaning that there is a user management system outside of Tribe and we're connecting to it. There is another way to it that we are still working on, and it's having Tribe as the member management, and Tribe will be a provider. So Tribe will replace, as an example, Okta or Auth 0. That will be coming out through our developer portal. That's another like thing that I wanted to mention. Like we are actually releasing an absolutely separate place for developers. It's our developer portal, and you will be able to use our webhooks and APIs and all those things. Having Tribe as an OAuth provider will be handled there. Another question that comes up a lot regarding SSO is the JOT or JWT SSO that we had on the V1. That's something that is coming like in the few months as well. It's actually something that we almost are testing it as we speak, and it will allow people to easily embed Tribe and log in users in other products. So I think this will cover any type of SSO requirements that anyone would need, actually.
Sweet, thank you. I have someone who asked, like, how do we sign up for the beta program? That's something I wanted to talk about. So we will be distributing the link in the follow-up email that you should expect probably in an hour after this webinar is finished with the recording of this call. But I'm also pasting in the chat the link to that form that if you're interested to get on to our beta program, just fill out that form. Tell us more about your community and yourself, and our team will review this. We'll get back to you, and they will roll out the beta program based on their policies. So I got a couple of questions on the support side of things, and how the support process works. Sometimes the team is slow on providing answers to our customers. We're super sorry about that. This is something that is ongoing. We have a freemium model, so we have a lot of customers signing up for the platform. What we are really trying to tackle here is also leveraging the amazing community and the customer community that we have. So I'm not sure if you guys have already tried it. While we're working on improving our support response time, we usually recommend also tapping into our customer community and get help from the other peers that have experienced that. But you can always get in touch with the founding team if you have any issues. I can personally be reached at mo@tribe.so. I'll post that in the chat, but also I would highly recommend looking into our Campfire community because we have amazing customers that help us with the other customers. And I guess the last question that we have is, again, on the perhaps this is also about the migration of V1 customers to V2, and they're asking when the virtual currency is coming out and the gamification features. I think you touched on that, Siavash, but you will see that in the public roadmap that we'll publish. The leaderboard is something that is expected. It is on the roadmap. You should be able to see that in the next 90 days. All right.
Yep. Similar to virtual currency. So we're actually looking into like some Web3 ways of doing gamification. It's still early. We're still exploring, but yeah, gamification in general is a big focus area of us as we speak right now.
Exactly. All right, fantastic. This was a great experience for us. This was the first series of Shaping the Future of Tribe with the makers of Tribe platform, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Want to do more of this? Please send your feedbacks to us. We're going to distribute a form after this call to also see how we can improve this. So thank you again. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Katie. Thank you guys so much. We look forward to meeting you on the next Shaping the Future of Tribe. Thank you. Have a great day. Goodbye.